The story of COVID that no one else is telling, the story of the people who are sick, suffering, and even dying because they do not have COVID.
Thing that I do want to talk the most about is the management of coronavirus versus the actual disease, and how it is the management that is mostly affecting our lives versus the disease itself.
There's a lot of things going on out there that I didn't really know until I experienced it myself. People are not getting the care that they need, or afraid to get the care that they need. And then there are the people who have not been able to see their doctors or medical staff because of COVID.
It's really a chaotic place for medicine to be in right now.
That unless you experience it yourself, you don't know what's happening or that it's going on. But families all across the country are dealing with this.
We're not really trying to heal people from COVID. We're trying to manage a COVID situation.
These heroes that like 2 months ago, were going out on the balconies and applauding the heroes in healthcare who were taking care of these patients, now have been bullied into submission by administrators who aren't even doctors who practice medicine, telling them how they're going to treat their patients, what patients they're going to treat, and when they're allowed to treat them.
We have to tend to the patient that is before us and not to a medical situation that is lurking out there.
A couple weeks ago, I had a serious ATV accident, and I had to be rushed to the emergency room. And the moment that I got into the emergency room, you pass that door and your family's left outside. I was not in a position to make good medical decisions for myself. I was not really necessarily coherent. I had a broken collarbone, still recovering from that, a fractured rib. I had a hematoma that was very dangerous, and I could not really competently speak on my own behalf for my medical care. But I could not have anyone there in with me. I didn't have the support that I needed. I didn't have the help with my husband's input. This is the story that no one's talking about. I needed his support, and I was denied at the time when I needed it most.
Medicine has become the medicine for the community and for the greater good, instead of being medicine for the individual. Plato believed that the state was the holder of the good, and therefore that you could do something if somebody was not important enough or not deemed capable enough of needing what the state could offer. Then you had to make a decision that maybe that life was not valuable enough to continue to treat that patient. And so what you were describing in the hospital is a complete immersion into Platonic medicine versus Hippocratic medicine, where we're practicing medicine for the good of the community, of the state, and not for the individual that is in front of us. We've stripped medicine of its heart, of its humanity, by doing it this way.
When you have taken the humanity out of medicine, you open the door for a lot of really scary things that we don't ever want to see repeated in any country.
That is very true. Medicine was invented by the great physician as an individualized system for the person to heal. We're not doing that anymore, and we need to get back to the great physician, Luke kind of medicine.
I'm really feeling like we've come to a point where we have complete socialized medicine, where administrators who have absolutely nothing to do with actual medical care are making the decisions as to who's going to get care, what kind of care they're going to get, and when they're going to get it. Everyone needs to know this. There are people all over the country who are having these stories. This is the story that's not being told. This is the story we need to start hearing. Post on Facebook, post on your social medias. The more that we speak, the more we will be heard.
Truth shall indeed set us free. When you know the truth and you know what's actually going on and what the numbers really are, then you're able to do a lot with that. And your audience will be able to be empowered and to be able to do much more with this information as a group of people than if they were just at home in fear.
We need to take the time to share the story that's not being shared and be assertive when we are in situations where we feel like we are not comfortable and we are not being given the care that we need.
I think that we can get medicine back to having a heart and being Hippocratic again but it's going to take you and me and moms and probably the president involved in this for him to understand that we cannot leave medicine in such an inhumane spot anymore.
If we know what's going on, if we know the truth of what's going on, and we know what to do about it, then we won't fear anymore. And fear is the enemy of freedom. So it's time to get back to freedom.